for the basic entry to all these sequences we've been looking at, we've been starting from a standard straight ashi, right? And now what we've been doing is we've been going here, here, and now look at my right leg, guys. See how that leg is hidden? Okay, I want to emphasize why we're hiding this leg as we make this transition. Do it here, just keep your hands on the mat for the sequence. It's just easier for everybody to see. Yeah, here's here, you go here, and then here. Why are we hiding that heel? Okay, what's the counter that he can perform if I don't? Okay, so I'll go right down. Yeah, so you're gonna put me in the standard straight ashi. Okay, so he comes to the standard straight ashi, and what's gonna happen is he's gonna pummel that. He's gonna take his foot out. Okay, and now he's not gonna hide this leg. He makes a mistake, and he doesn't hide this heel. If he hides the heel, it'll be like this. The heel's pointing in the direction of my ribs, okay? Whereas if it's not, the heel's pointing like away from my ribs, okay? If the heel's pointing away from my ribs, what the top guy can do is they can catch the heel here, okay? And now we have the top guy have a really strong ability to fall back and finish an inside heel hook. Get a tight ankle lock on that. Yeah, so if he has a tight ankle lock, what I would recommend doing, if I'm the top man in this situation, is falling down and extending my right leg, okay, so he can't ankle lock me. Now what I do is I take this right foot, and I'm gonna put it underneath my, keep the ankle lock. Yeah, don't lose it. I'm gonna put it underneath my knee. Now we have a situation where it's ankle lock versus inside heel hook. Yes.
I'm losing.
You're losing this battle. Yeah, this is a very hard fight to win. In most cases, the inside heel hook is gonna beat the ankle lock, okay? If I don't defend it, right, like if, let's say, like over 1 second, like look, to defend an ankle lock, what you wanna do, just a general basic principle is extend the leg. You guys have probably heard this as putting the boot on, right? Like everybody's heard this, right? So it's as if you're like putting a boot on your foot, right? If my leg is like this, to finish an ankle lock, he wants to hyperextend the ligaments of my foot, okay? Here, they're very, like my ligaments are really like compact, right? Or rather I should say they're compressed inwards, whereas here, they're extended, which means if he can take them any further, he could break me. So if I'm just super lazy with it, there is a chance he could win this exchange, okay? So what I do is I make sure the whole time get tight, I'm extending. So now, if he were to go to finish that ankle lock, if I sit here all day, maybe he'll get it, but the truth is, you've got an inside heel lock. Yeah, you're gonna start putting that on, okay? We take this leg, and it goes underneath the knee for 2 reasons. One, it's gonna lock everything in place for the inside heel hook. Right now I have closed wedges, which is much stronger for applying pressure to the top of the thigh to get our break. The second thing is, it also makes it way harder to finish that ankle lock. If he's got the ankle lock, with this leg underneath, it's like I have a shelf that my leg's on top of, right? If this leg is not here, he can go a little lower. You see that, right? That's gonna benefit you, right? I could, like let's say hypothetically I was here, catch the ankle lock tight. I'm still, I think, winning this, right? If there's no closed wedges, if it's an open wedge situation here. But the benefit of this is now there's like a surface underneath my leg, which makes my leg raise just a little bit, making it harder to finish that ankle lock. Go to it, like extend as hard as you want for the ankle lock.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
It's so hard. Yeah, if I sit here all day, maybe my leg will get tired or something. But if I got this, I'm finishing that heel hook. To finish the heel hook here, guys, in this case, because before my right foot was on the stomach and the left foot was over the top. Now here to finish, to put pressure on the thigh, it's a little different. You're gonna go like, see how I turn the knee down this way to put pressure on the thigh? Okay, and now I'm gonna bridge in and draw my elbow back. Right, so before, I'll let go 1 second. Bring this leg over here. Before what we were doing was, the pressure was coming in this fashion, right? Where I was back heeling and I was compressing down with my knee. Now he's got an ankle lock here. So the pressure is now coming more so from, it's the same kind of basic motion, but it's not identical. You see out here. So before the pressure was coming like here, now it's going here. Do you guys see the difference? From here to here. Okay? And we draw the elbow back, and the wrist comes into our chin. Okay, so let's look at that all again. So my opponent's done a good job of putting me in a standard straight ashi. Okay? As he goes to make the transition to an outside ashi, however, he makes a mistake. He does not hide his heel. We're gonna capitalize, hold on guys, as we're catching the heel, I'm hiding my heel. Right, like if I were to go like this, okay, now it's who's gonna break who first. We don't wanna do that. it's much better to be in a situation where I've got heel exposure and he only has an ankle lock. Okay, now here, in real life, you can catch the heel and fall back so that we don't hurt each other. Let's grab the knee, okay? So now as I fall back, I'm sitting down, I'm extending that right leg, and I'm fitting my foot underneath the knee like so, okay? And now I've got a really safe position for my right ankle, and this is terrible. If he's good, his best bet at this point would be to let go and try to come forward, and as soon as he does that, we just switch to this, okay? Because if he holds that ankle lock, he's dooming himself to getting heel locked, okay? So if I were in his shoes, really the only option he has left, if I were him, what I would do is I would let go of the ankle lock, and I would grab the feet, both legs, like both of them. Like my feet. Watch. Sorry, watch. Extend this leg. Yeah, so I would go, like, grab the feet and like throw them to this side. And try to, that's really your last option. Grabbing the feet, frantically like throwing them over there. You're probably losing because he's already got a heel hook, so yeah. Let's look at it just one more time. This is to emphasize the importance of hiding your heel in this transition. I don't want to teach you guys this transition. You go back to your gym and like everyone's heel hook and you're like, damn, Rob taught this sequence. I'm getting heel hooked every time I use it. It's shit. No, it's all about hide this heel. Now you're totally safe, okay? Now, but if you do this, bang. This is the counter. If somebody does this on you and they're not being diligent about hiding their heel, this is how we can capitalize upon that mistake, okay? I'm gonna take my leg, extend it. As I extend, I fall back down. I throw this left leg underneath. Now here you've got a very strong inside heel, okay?
All right, guys, now we're gonna have a look at a match that happened pretty recently, which is a good example of the technique that I demonstrated at that seminar in this video. All right, so we've got Kaynan Duarte here on the bottom and Cyborg Abreu on the top. And what Kaynan's going to work to do is attempt to entangle Cyborg's legs. The first strategy he's going to look to employ is to make use of a Kani Basami. All right, so here he's got his hands behind, or he's got his left hand behind Cyborg's right knee. And he's going to attempt a Kani Basami on Cyborg's left side, okay? Take a look at the action of Kaynan's left leg and Cyborg's left leg. So Kaynan is attempting to swivel his left leg underneath Cyborg's leg. He has some success with it, but Cyborg back steps his way out and he's unable to get the Kani Basami. Let's look at that once more. Focus on the action of this leg backstepping as Kaynan attempts to entangle it. See how he brings it out? Yeah, and he makes it hard for him to entangle it. As a result, Kaynan switches to the standard Ashigarami and then a reverse X, and he puts Cyborg's hands on a mat. He's going to attempt another Kani Basami. Here, Kaynan's left leg is fully straight. He's trying to get that Kani Basami on this leg through the reverse X, but Cyborg lifts the leg up and makes use of the back step problem to inhibit Kaynan's ability to get the Kani Basami, okay? This is a problem. This is one of the two main problems we come up against when we try to perform the Kani Basami. And Kaynan does not have a good solution for it, unfortunately. And he's going to shift into a different form of offense. This time, he's going to go back to the standard Ashi. And now he's going to attempt to bring this right leg to the outside of Cyborg's hip to get to an outside Ashi, okay? He fails on the first attempt because Cyborg does a good job of grasping his ankle with his hand. See, he was grasping Kaynan's ankle here. Now what Cyborg's going to do is he's going to take his right hand and he's going to grasp Kaynan's left foot and attempt to strip that foot off of his hip in order to start opening up the wedges and escape the position. Okay? At this point, Kaynan succeeds in getting his right leg to the outside into a bottom outside Ashi. Cyborg immediately capitalizes upon this, and what we're going to see is because Kaynan is not hiding his heel in this situation, Cyborg has a good opportunity to immediately expose an inside heel hook and get the finish. Very strong, yeah. All right, so let's look at what went wrong there for Kaynan. Well, first of all, when you're making this transition from standard Ashi to outside Ashi, you have to hide your heel, okay? Anytime you're in an entanglement, especially when your chests are facing one another, there's some degree of mutual opportunity, okay? I should say any leg entanglement, that is, okay? Even arm entanglements, there's some mutual opportunity. Not as much, but there are some opportunities to counterattack like this. Okay, so but leg entanglements, it's very much the case that there's almost always a high degree of mutual opportunity. Even if the position is very asymmetrical, you're only a few moves away from changing that, from converting the position into one where you could counterattack, okay? Now what happens here is, because Kaynan is not hiding this leg as he makes the transition, okay? He's not hiding his heel. He's in a position where Cyborg can now expose the heel because the knee, Kaynan's knee, is facing into Cyborg's hips. If Kaynan's knee was facing away from Cyborg's hips, right? If his knee was pointing in this direction, so which is to say if Cyborg's hips and Kaynan's knee were both pointed in the same direction, he wouldn't be able to catch Kaynan's heel because his heel would be facing into Cyborg's ribs. So there would be no immediate opportunity to attain heel exposure. This is an example of the concept of an unforced error, where nothing Cyborg did proactively forced Kaynan to make this error. Kaynan simply made the error, and Cyborg capitalized upon it, which is what you ought to do when you come up against unforced errors. However, as defensive grapplers, it's on us to never allow unforced errors to occur. Okay, we should learn from this example and not make this mistake. Okay, we should, whenever we bring this leg to the outside, as I demonstrate earlier in the YouTube video, you want to be hiding that heel. There's no reason not to be hiding the heel. Okay, because as you see here, if you don't, you can get heel hooked. Okay, take a look at what Cyborg is doing with his leg. He's hiding the heel on Kaynan's ribs. Okay, so Kaynan does not have an opportunity to grasp an outside heel hook. If you look at the direction of Kaynan's hips and Cyborg's knee, they're both pointing in the same direction, which means that Cyborg's heel is going to be facing into Kaynan's ribs, hiding it. All right, now what Cyborg's going to do at this point is he's going to bring his left leg over the top for the finish. And he makes use of rotational braking mechanics, okay? Where he's going to lift his hips in the air and he's going to drive his right elbow into Kaynan's center line to get the break. This stands in contrast to the braking mechanics I demonstrate. They're both good. These are two of the three major forms of braking mechanics for an inside heel hook, okay? You want to understand how to perform all three of them in order to maximize your opportunities to get breaks. Okay, there's an interrelationship between the three of them that you ought to understand. Yeah, and in this case he uses the rotational ones. I showed heel down, where you can press the inside of your thigh to the top of his thigh, lift your hips up, and pin his heel to the mat. Okay, but this is a strong set of braking mechanics too. Yeah, the biggest takeaway, again, just to reiterate, is going to be not allowing, as the defensive man, or even in this case as the offensive man, not allowing unforced errors. We never want to allow unforced errors such as the one Kaynan allowed here.